Hello and welcome to the Dokapon Library, your one-stop shop for reminding you that Sword of Fury has now had more post-launch support than Connect. On June 25th, the Steam version of Dokapon Sword of Fury received its first major update, going from version 1.0.4 to 1.1.0. And along with this update comes several new features, as well as a couple of bug fixes. So let's get into it. Starting things off, multiple players can now choose the same character when starting a game. Previously, each character was only able to be used by a single player. For example, if two people wanted to play as Mulde, that simply wasn't possible in previous versions. But now, multiple people can play as the same character, and to account for this, each character now has 4 distinct colors that can be chosen from. You can also freely choose between the 4 colors even if you're the only person playing that character. The alternate colors only apply to the overworld sprite. The battle model as well as any portraits will still show the original color scheme. And since characters only have 1 line per story section, certain lines will be repeated if people play as the same character. But overall, this is a great addition that allows for more flexibility for games, as well as the fact that even simple color swaps allows for more fun customization options. Next on the list, a transformation limit can now be set for the Darkling. Previously, a player using a contract would stay transformed as a Darkling for as many turns as the current week counter. Meaning that if the week counter were 51, then that player would be a Darkling for 51 turns, which makes the Darkling in late game absolutely broken. But in this update, there's now an option in the secret settings that lets you set a maximum limit for how long a player using a contract can be a Darkling. It even has a new default of 15 days, which is similarly linked to the later Dokapon games. And you can set that limit to pretty much anything up to 999 days, as well as set it back to how it originally was with no limit. Next is a simpler one. Cross-language text for online battles is now supported. Previously, a player with English text and a player with Japanese text could not play online with each other, but this has now been changed in the latest updates to be possible. Which is a good thing because the game now features more language options. Simplified Chinese and Traditional Chinese are now selectable languages for Dokapon Sword of Fury. Back in April, it was announced that Simplified Chinese, Traditional Chinese, and Korean were going to be added to the Steam and Switch versions of Sword of Fury. And this update has added 2 of those languages, so we can expect Korean to be added in a later update. The new translations seem to be based on the original Japanese version, and in terms of translation quality, they do seem to be more accurate than the English one, at least from what I tested. Although I've also read that there are translation issues in other areas, so I guess only time will tell for its quality. The Chinese versions are also the only versions of the game that don't have any issues with the character names in the opening movie. These issues still exist in the English and Japanese versions, just not when the text is set to Simplified or Traditional Chinese. And to end these patch notes, a few bug fixes were made. The only named fix in the patch notes is fixing a bug that could halt progression when battles occurred at the entrance to the Demon World. There isn't anything in the game called Entrance to the Demon World, but it most likely refers to the Underworld entrance, or Hell's Door as it's named in the story. Regardless, if a battle somehow occurred on the same space as the gate, that would cause progression issues, which has now been fixed in the latest update. And finally, several minor issues have also been resolved. No, the Summon P-Walls reinforcements issue wasn't fixed, don't ask. As of right now, all of these changes have only been added to the Steam version of the game and not the Switch version. The official Dokapon account has stated that these features will also be added to the Switch version. We'll just have to wait a little longer. Overall, this is a very good update that adds some highly requested features. And for once, I can finally talk about Sword of Fury without exclusively mentioning bug fixes. And we can expect more updates in the future with the promise of additional language support for Korean, as well as a tease that the 2D illustrations and 3D models might be changed in the future to reflect those new alternative colors. So hopefully, more features will be added alongside these. As of right now, Sting is participating in the Steam Summer Sale, so you can pick up the game for just $12.49. You can even pick up Dokapon Kingdom Connect for just $14.99 if you wanted. Heck, while we're at it, all of Sting's Steam games are currently on sale, so if you wanted to check any of these out, I'll link their developer portal in the description. Thank you for joining me on this Dokapon news update, and I'll see you later for some more Dokapon content.